Hello. For this problem, the first part, what's the distribution? This is just your mean and your standard deviation, which was the 42,000, and the standard deviation was 12,141. To find the probability a random selected acre in the forest has fewer than 43,729 ants. That would be normal distribution. So if we're going to use this, we would put equals and type norm. And then you want to use the distribution one because you're given values. So you double click it, then you put your X value, which was the 43,729, comma, your mean, 42,000. Oops, don't put the comma in your number. 4,121, 141. And they want a 1 for the end. It's always a 1. And hit enter. Now this is giving you the percent below 5566. If they wanted more than, then you'd subtract 1 minus this. But they did want fewer. Now for in between, what you want to do is find the percent for the 34 first, the 34,000. So we do equals norm distribution, and then put your 34947, comma, the mean, standard deviation, comma, and a 1, and hit enter. So it's this value is the percent below, but that's going from here all the way down. So then we need to plug this value in, and that'll give us this part. When we subtract the two, that gives us in between. So from the 28% would be from here down. So then we want to take this value and subtract it, and that'll give us what's in between. So if we find equals norm, the X value 2727645, the mean 21, standard deviation, comma, 1, and hit enter. Now when you subtract these two, we should get this value. And you can go equals this one minus this one, and hit enter. So we had to subtract them. For the last one, the quartile, a quartile, the first quartile, 25% of your data is below it. When you're working with a quartile, you have your smallest number, and then the lower quartile, the middle number or the median, and then the upper quartile. Now sometimes they call this Q1 and Q3, and the largest. Each one of these groups is 25% of the data. So if we want the lower quartile, 25% of the data is below it. If they ask for the upper quartile, 3/4 or 75% of the data. So to find the upper quartile, you'd use 0.75. We wanted the lower, so it's 0.25. So for this one, find the first quartile. Go here and put our equals and type our norm. Now we're going to use a percent, so we're using inverse because we're looking for the number. You put your probability as a decimal. The first quartile, 25% of the data is below it, so it's 0.25, comma, your mean, comma, 12141, your standard deviation. Now this one you don't enter a 1, you just stop at the standard deviation and hit enter, and there's your answer.